Good morning once again, and still on your flagship program, that's your program of choice, this morning on ITV. That program that consists of segments of different kind of program, among which we have Nationalism and You, which I am anchoring, Ebenezer Oyetakin, as your host. This morning, we're going to be looking at the issue of sit at home in the southeastern part of this country, and a renewed attempt by Mr. Governor Soludo to end it. With me to take a look at this morning is no other but, to my far right, Barrister Abubakar Animio Kali.
Good morning, Nigerians, and welcome to the program.
And Nationalism and You.
I feel born to build this country, Nigeria.
He is born to build this country, Nigeria. And immediate right, to my immediate right, is Mr. Ariyodare Atoye. You're welcome to our studio.
Well, thank you for having me.
Ariyo Atoye is Executive Director, Adopt a Goal Initiative.
Thank you for having me.
Nationalism and You.
I made a commitment to serve Nigeria, to build Nigeria, and to salvage Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sit at home. It has been on and on and on, and we saw that non-state actor became so powerful. How did we arrive at that? Barrister Animio
Kali. Thank you so much. I think observers of this country will not find it difficult to appreciate or understand how we arrive at the successful stranglehold that non-state actors have on our nation. That can be robustly explained by the weakness of the implementation of our laws. You know, where there is a failure on the part of the government to capably implement the laws, then of course, there will not be vacuum. Non-state actors will take over. That is why, even besides the effect of the declared sit-at-home program, you have crops of dissidents, militants, bandits coming up everywhere. Those things tend to explain the absence of the effectiveness of the implementation of the laws by the states.
Mr. Ariyo, your take on this?
Well, I will put it in two perspectives. One, like using an example of a structure, an edifice, and also just a follow up to what Mr. Walker said, which is issue of justice. Let me start from the issue of justice. You realize that in the nations today where you have peace, stability, you see one thing, speedy dispensation of justice. You will see that punishment and reward are quicker. You will see proactive response on the part of government. Now, when you don't do that, then I use the analogy of an edifice. You have a building and there's a little crack on that building and you don't attend to it, then the crack begins to widen. Or probably in the front of your house, you have a little erosion, clay erosion, just light erosion. Now if you don't attend to it, it becomes a gully erosion that may even consume your building altogether. So it's important that people who have been saddled with the responsibility of nation building to understand that the society is like an organism, is like an edifice that must be managed, that when there are cracks, those cracks must be quickly attended to. when there are problems, there must be speedy justice system. Now today, we have the non-state actors that's looking like they are more powerful than the state actors, almost dictating the pace, because we all saw it coming. But because we didn't do the needful, we allow our fault lines, the sentiments that have beclouded our sense of judgment as a people, to allow those little things to fester. And the sentiment of my own and the fact that because you didn't do justice to this, you cannot do justice to me, and all of that. And again, we also have to look internally. For instance, a different part of the country, evil is domiciled in a location before it's spread. Today we have axis of evil in different part of the country, and both the society and the government are not having a collective and collaborative effort to affect, to address them. Now it's becoming like they are intractable and are probably bigger than something that we can attend to. So it's a serious problem. And if care is not taken, these are capable of tearing this country apart forever, except we act. And at the center of it is leadership.
Very well. Taking it from there, there is a renewed attempt by Soludo to end this seat at home. How successful do you think he can go? Many people think he should concentrate on his governance, being a newly sworn-in governor, and that the thing has festered for too long. And many people think he's doing it the right way. So, what is the prospect?
I want to think that he may likely succeed, because the stay-at-home program by IPOB has obviously been telling on the people. Nigerians are mostly individual citizens that fend for themselves individually. You know, they take care of themselves individually. The government is hardly present in our lives as citizens. Now, particularly going to the east, where this stay-at-home policy is obtaining, they are mainly individual entrepreneurs, petty traders, self-established citizens of this country. Now, why I feel the attempt by the governor, Soludo, to end the stay-at-home will be successful is, one, I want to feel that from what we have read in the newspapers and comments we've had from people, the Easterners were already tired of the brunt they were taking from the stay-at-home program. It disturbs their business, disturbs their security, you know, and it was a program that was being taken advantage of by criminals and criminal elements. Now, the IPOB itself that brought about this program, I feel, was already looking for a way out, because there was a time they order an end to the program. So I feel that this opportunity being given by the Governor Soludo, is presenting a soft landing, at a kind of face-saving opportunity for IPOB and all those advocates of the stay-at-home policy. Therefore, that, being that the people are itching to start their business, to go back to their normal life, without because at the end of the day, it has been normal. Like the people have come to realize and understood that this stay-at-home policy hurts the Easterner more than it hurts the government. I doubt whether it will have any effect, any adverse effect on the government. But it stopped the people from doing their normal business. It stopped them from living their normal lives, and also leading to violence here and there, because the ECN, or what's it called? The security put up by Eastern Security Network by the airport, have started taking violent dimension, whereby people are hurt, people's property are taken away from them, people's property are destroyed before them. I remember there was a video clip where several Okada riders were arrested and their motorbike taken away from them, are set ablaze, and vehicles are intercepted, set ablaze. Goods are intercepted, destroyed. So these are only hurting the Easterners, because those things don't belong to non-Easterners. They don't belong to the government. And the government is far away in Abuja, the federal government, whom they are saying the federal government must release their leader, Nnamdi Kanu. It's not feeling the impact of all these things. So it is the people, it's like cutting your nose to spite your face. So I feel that it will be welcomed by members of IPOB and those stay-at-home advocates, taking it as an opportunity to at least present it to the world as if not for the governor, they wouldn't have stopped. But meanwhile, they will be very happy to terminate the program, which is hurting everybody in the East.
Mr. Ario, taking a look at when the thing started and the strength it has gathered, to the extent that criminal element has even tends to hijack it from the IPOB that we thought were the owner and things of that nature. And taking into considerations that there had always been governors in this place, how come that it takes one Soludo to begin to push aggressively for its ending?
Well, I would like to say I would like to express cautious optimism. The Soludo solution, all will not be done through the textbook in terms of implementation. And I want to believe that the issue of Truth and Reconciliation Committee must have been one of the suggestions made by the Transition Committee that put together a document for him for implementation. But in addressing this kind of problem, it requires more of wisdom than textbook implementation. And I would like to say that I don't tend to agree with Governor Charles Soludo. It's my man, is somebody I would have offered a better advice than the way he has taken this matter. I support the idea of the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, but I do not support the way and manner they are going about it. Let me explain.
Okay.
The issue of IPOB, the criminality attached to what is going on in the Southeast is not limited to Anambra State. He has a responsibility, being a new governor that has enjoyed overwhelming support. I had expected that Soludo would have used the first 3 months of his administration to do consultation around the Southeast, because solving the IPOB problem will require 70% or more back-end solution than what is in the public in terms of optic. What will be in the public in terms of what the people see will probably be less than 10–20% of action and all of that, because we're talking about something that is very invasive, that has penetrated the fabric of the eastern region or zone. I will explain why it has penetrated. If you look at the number of IPOB, I don't know the number, but do they really have that enough strength and number to be able to enforce it at home? Well, the reason why people comply with the directive of IPOB is simply because they also believe in the fact that there is need for justice for the East. So, yeah, it could now be that after the compliance has now become too much, now people are now feeling the pain. But initially when it started, the people comply because they realized that the reason IPOB adduced for this too was just and fair. Now, when you look at it psychologically speaking, from a position of acceptance, that you accepted that IPOB, the people people had accepted this sit-at-home, then what the governor ought to have looked at is to first look at the fact that you need to first hand the entire trust of the people. You can say that, yeah, because he's been given a new mandate and it's loved that he has handed the mandate of the people, but when it comes to this issue of the Biafra agitation, it's a different kettle of fish. The governor must have probably taken his time when the heart of the people, talk to them, then set up what we call back-end machinery to reach out to the IPOB themselves and be able to understand also the criminality. And there are a lot of strategies that are available to a sitting governor in terms of some certain strategic divide and rule, divide and conquer, because the criminal elements are also embedded in this approach, so that how to be able to exercise this criminal element from this arrangement. Then also, even the main IPOB itself, how you're able to engage them. You see, I look at some of the persons that have been appointed in the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, fantastic guys, But some of them have taken position in the public before against IPOB. And it will require some level of confidence for IPOB to be able to, listen one way or the other. So that's, you must look at the records of, I would have loved more of, Chidi Adikalu has an experience, I would have loved more of people in that committee together with Chidi to be maybe retired justices, people who have spoken less in the society, not sensational. For instance, Charlie Boy is a respected figure, but not that kind of arrangement. You need people with conservative view, conservative background, who have not written about this matter, talk more about this matter, who will be able to engage with those guys, people that they can call at home. This is our pain, this is our concern, how do you. So it is not an issue that should have been done in this fashion. And what also happened, it's not an Anambra solution. It is not Soludo, so it could be Soludo's solution for the Southeast, not Soludo's solution for Anambra. That is one thing, it's bigger than Anambra. So I had expected that the governor would have also strategically won himself to his colleague governors in the Southeast. This is my plan. Share it with them, move to this state, move to that state, share his plan with them and tell them that this is what I think we can do. How do we address this new idea? I know you guys have tried, but I also want to set up a Truth and Reconciliation Committee in Anambra State to be able to address this. If you address IPOB issue in Anambra State, as you address IPOB issue in Abia. So that's why I'm telling you that it must be a region-wide approach in terms of how to get these things sorted. What Soludo can do, I will agree with him in terms of addressing criminality as it's domiciled within the state. But if it now becomes issue of sit-at-home agitation and all of that, it transcends the state. So there is more for him to do. And I don't think that he's going to likely really succeed on this. But one thing I know...
The Peace and Reconciliation Committee is setting up is for Anambra State alone.
That's what I'm saying. You can't do that. You can't do that because it's zone-wide agitation. So you can take me back in the next 6 months on this issue. I don't see him likely succeeding on this approach. He will try, then I some people will listen, but because it's something that transcends Anambra, it's going to. So, but one thing I like about Soludo, he's a knowledgeable person, he's a wise person. By the time he sees the gaps in the implementation, and I'm sure that it will take this a wider zonal approach in terms of consulting people, fellow governors, and see how probably they can get them to adopt and to adapt to his own idea. It's a wonderful idea, Truth and Reconciliation Committee, wonderful idea, amnesty for IPOB members and all of that. And also, there were also, the intricacy is also there. Don't forget that the government declared IPOB as a terrorist organization. Can you go in isolation of the federal government to do amnesty and all of that? What about your neighboring governors, neighboring state? Can somebody move from Anambra to another state and return to Anambra State? So it's a complex issue that cannot just be sorted with this kind of approach that he has done. I'm sure that he's in a hurry to show results, to justify the mandate that have been given to him. He's in a hurry to demonstrate that he's somebody who has come to bring about solution. But I think that he will definitely at a point in time pause and do more consultation, more back-end solution, and apply wisdom in the entire thing. But I want to say thank you to Governor Charles Soludo.
Taking it from where Mr. Ario ends it, Mr. Abubakar, recently, about 2 days ago, there is a concern that the sit-at-home is more effective in Imo State than as it is in Anambra State now. So when you take all of this into consideration, then you want to allude to what he has just said.
Very well.
Is it not supposed to be a necessity for Soludo to galvanize the entire states of the Southeast and their governor? Or he's feeling that they have been along with this thing for too long and things of that nature? Your take on this?
Yeah, I would really want to agree with Mr. Rio on the area of